Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford CDC, and today we're looking at the CMB knives Darma. This here is a model that features both a opening hole as well as a flipper tab, which has become quite a combo nowadays. You can see this is a liner lock with carbon fiber scales, titanium bolsters and pocket clip, and the blade steel in this guy is not marked. Don't know it off the top of my head. Wish I could tell you. It is probably something like S30V or better, I would guess. This also has a front flipper. We will talk briefly about that in a moment, but it is there. So yeah, the CMB Darma. CMB is a pretty new company to me. I recently had heard about this knife due to the YouTube pass around with Lefty EDC. That's where this is coming from. And they do OEM work and stuff. So that's something to keep in mind for those looking to get knives made, is that these guys do work. I don't know the logo here, if that's a designer's logo, but it looks like the stubby Boker, so maybe it is a designer. I don't know though off the top of my head. You can see CMB's logo there, and it does say CMB made knives. Underneath that, it's probably a little tough to see since it's written small, but let's talk about the actual knife now. And you can see there's a forward finger choil, which makes this super comfortable in hand. The ergos are great. You have some nice chamfering to these handle scales, though they aren't contoured. The chamfers make this nice and comfortable. And this cutout that helps you get to the lock bar makes it really comfy for that middle finger to slot right in there. And this is great to use. This is also nice and comfy down in this area here. Pointer finger going in that slot for the same reason. Now there is one tiny little bit of jimping here. I wish there was a little bit more or no jimping. The reason that jimping's there though is because of the front flipper. I guess not really actually, because it's just kind of there to be for the spine, but I wish there was more than that case. I'm just noticing this now. It would have been nice to see that continued, but you have the hole too. This works nice for flicking, and you can get your thumb in there too due to this cutout, thankfully, so makes it nice and simple to flick that out. Your lock bar access isn't amazing, but it's not too bad. You can see this is cut out, and you can just get a glimpse of the jimping there. So you can get to this no problem, but just keep in mind that the scale's not really cut out for it. It's just kind of chamfered in there for it. So you're going to be able to get to the lock bar, just you have to kind of get into this area here. And as you might have seen there, I did run that flipper tab into my pointer finger, so I didn't quite deploy it all the way. That's something to get used to with knives that have both a flipper tab and an opening hole, so you got to keep your fat hands out of the way of the flipper tab. Now let's talk about this front flipper, because it doesn't need to be here, and it's just jumping on that fad of multiple opening methods. I hate this front flipper with a passion. It's really low profile, which you would think is good, but it's hard to kind of get up and around on. You can't deploy it this way, and to get to the front of it, you have to really lock this in and get here. And you only have a very little bit to push against with your thumb. So when you finally catch it, there's just nothing behind that deployment. It could be so much stronger if this is just a little taller maybe, but it's not. It's really low profile, and I'm just not a huge fan of the way that it operates that way. Overall, I would stick to using the opening hole or the flipper tab in this case. Get nice solid deployment from that every time, and you don't have to worry about positioning your hands and getting the right angle or anything. So that is definitely the way to go if you ask me. This has a nice, pretty much full height flat grind. There's just a little bit of unground blade right here, whereas the majority of this goes all the way down to the edge. Keeps things nice and slim, keeps a fairly thin edge here, and overall this led to pretty good performance. Good ergos combined with a good grind will always have a nice time cutting, especially for extended periods of time. So this is no exception to that rule. And this is on bearings, so you've probably seen the action by now. It is nice and hydraulic, though it is on the drop shutty side. I imagine with some tuning and some oil, this would probably be very smooth. I'm not saying that it's not now, but it could be better than what you're seeing is what I am saying. That all being said, this is a pretty good knife. I don't know the price on this off the top of my head, but CMB is a company to definitely keep an eye out on. There's one more of their knives getting passed around in the pass around group now that's really interesting. It's a Chris style blade, so it'll be fun to check that out when it gets here. But in the meantime, this is my experience with CMB, and it's been good so far. The Darma is a pretty good knife, so if you're looking for something aesthetically like this, you're going to get good performance and good ergos out of it, absolutely go for it. Can't imagine you'd be unhappy with this knife here from CMB Knives. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy the video, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.